Are you hearing some clunking or having some loose steering in your Jeep Wrangler JK? It's important not to ignore it because the results could be very expensive or just downright scary. Stick with me and I'm going to show you what you need to know and how to solve it.
You can absolutely do this.
What's going on, Jeepers? Pat here from Journey to Jeeping, here to help you learn more about your Jeep and ways to save money. Now stick around to the end because I'm going to share with you the most important information you're going to need before you start this project.
All right, so what we're looking at here is your tie rod end, and you're going to see the driver's side. Here is the nut and bolt that you're going to have to remove for your steering dampener. And there is your passenger side tie rod end right there. Now you can see the movement that you have in it. You shouldn't be able to move it that easily. So that's how we know it's getting pretty close to time to replace. Now, as you can see, there's minimal effort to move that. So it's getting a little sloppy there. Now, something else you're going to want to look for is right here. That's the boot for your tie rod end. If that's ripped, you're going to see grease there. All right, so this right here is your adjustment sleeve, and that's used to give you the proper alignment. Then as you work your way down, you're going to see that nut and bolt right there. You're going to have to loosen, and that's what's holding it into place. You can leave that there. And as we make our way down, you can see there's the passenger tie rod end. It is a single nut holding that on. And you can tell it's a very tight spot there, so we're going to end up removing the rim just to get to that. All right, we're going to start this off by removing this nut here, and that's for your steering dampener. We're going to fully remove this and just slide it off. Now it is going to be a little stiff, but don't worry, just a little force, it'll come out. Alright, so we've removed the wheel, and next we're going to remove this nut here for the passenger side tie rod end. Everything we do here, we are just going to mimic on the other side. So I've used the impact gun for this, just to make it easier. It's been a while since it's been removed, so it was pretty tight. Alright, so here you see me put the nut back on. The reason being, I'm just doing it a couple threads, and I'm going to use a hammer to help persuade it out of its spot because it was kind of seized in there. Okay, now that everything's removed, we're going to measure to get the exact length so that when we put everything back together, it's going to be as close as possible to help with the alignment. Alright, so now we're going to reassemble all our new parts, and we are going to install it, keeping in mind the length that we measured our last one that we removed to help keep our alignment as close as possible. Okay, now we're going to reinstall everything, and just to recap everything we need to do, our passenger tie rod end, we are going to tighten that nut cap to 63 foot-pounds torque. This is our steering dampener tie rod nut, and that's going to be at 50 foot-pounds of torque. Then we're going to do our tie rod and sleeve clamp, and that's going to be at 45 foot-pounds of torque. And lastly, we're going to do our driver's side tie rod end nut, and that's going to be again at 63 foot-pounds of torque.
Alright, so the most important thing you need to know before you get into this project is to research the parts you need. I made the mistake of purchasing a generic driver and passenger side tie rod end. Cannot change those on the Jeep. Jeep has designed it so you have to replace the entire bar with both tie rod ends. Now, in saying that, it was very expensive, so I would suggest looking into an aftermarket, something a little bit better quality, instead of just buying another generic stock one. Now, the second thing you're going to need to do is budget for an alignment when you're done. Right after you complete this project, you're going to find your alignment is way off. Highway driving, you're going to have a nice speed wobble, or you're going to have uneven wear on your tires. So make sure you budget that extra money to have this done correctly. All right, guys, if you found this content helpful, smash that like button. And for more content like this, hit the subscribe button down below.